Need to change something to.
Liz, you can unmute just to test and see if
Do
you.
the input.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can. Okay, great. All right, we're on and this is on. Whenever you're ready.
If you go up there, make sure you turn the mic on. Or if you want to sit there, just pull the mic over there. It's not professional. You can sit there and use the mic. Not attached to anything. And the camera will pick you up, so.
Call this regular meeting of the Albion Planning Commission to order. If you have a cell phone, if you could put it on silent or turn it off, would be great. We'll have a roll call of the commission.
Mayor Victoria Snyder,
Here.
Scott Kidd,
Here.
Mark Kelly,
Here.
Albert Amos,
Present.
Sharon Pons called, Tom Pitt,
Here.
Lynn Reed. Here. George Strander.
Here.
And Joseph Rebecki.
Here.
Great. Thank you. Next up on the agenda is approval of prior meeting minutes. Should have draft minutes from our March 15th session. A few more pages than normal. Give everyone a chance to look that over, and then I'll entertain a motion either to approve or to amend.
Move to approve the minutes.
Okay,
Support.
Not sure who supported that.
I got it.
Okay. So moved and supported to accept the minutes as drafted. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll bring it to vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes as drafted signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those are approved. Correspondence, any correspondence? Okay. Going down to order of business. The first order is director report, conditional approval granted for 500 Beamer Street. Ian, you want to fill us in on this?
Yeah. So just as a quick update, since we took that action the last meeting, we gave conditional approval to 500 Beamer Street for their special use permit, and the site plan included with that, a conditional approval for 1007 Industrial and their site plan for expanding on the existing building, and conditional approval for 923 Burstein for the new building that they'd be building. So far, all of the conditions have been met for 923 Burstein. Most of the conditions have been met for 500 Beamer Street, and I spoke to the owner of 1007 today, and he had some holdups with some projects that his engineer was working on, but has assured me that they are working on finishing up those items. So one of three is all wrapped up, and we're on track with the other two, so those conditional approvals will be moving to tangible expansions to vacant lots in Albion, or underused lots in Albion, and I just wanted to provide an update that that is happening, that is moving forward. You know, typically we see items on the agenda and then that's the last time we see them, so I felt this update would be helpful. And I'll probably update you again when the last two have ticked off all their boxes, but everything's going how we hoped it would.
Great, thank you. Yeah, you're right, we usually don't hear about it afterwards, so that's nice. Any commissioner comments or questions? All right, thank you. Moving on now to request the City Council of Albion to approve for distribution and review the draft of the City of Albion Community Comprehensive Plan. So Ian, why don't you give us the context for this?
Yep. So this is the first draft formally of the plan that we'd like the Planning Commission to take action on. The steering committee for this has been working on it. Of course, some of you were involved in that meeting before the Planning Commission meetings and reviewing the chapter drafts with Liz. And there's a whole process that I did not look over just before this meeting, but I'm sure Liz has right in front of her on what exactly the next steps are. You're being asked to take some affirmative action on this draft of the plan, but it'll come back to you again with public comment after it's gone before City Council. So I believe Liz is on and can fill us in further from here, but anything Liz has to say about the draft, as well as just if you could start by just explaining the process.
Sure. So you all can hear me okay, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Ian even covered it pretty well, but the steering committee has been working for several months now on getting a draft together. And so in front of you now is the first full draft. Process-wise, it's sort of a long adoption process, but the first step is for it to, once we have a complete draft, is for it to come before you as the Planning Commission to make a recommendation to the City Council to distribute. The distribution is then the next step would be for Council to approve distribution. Distribution just means that it's going out for a 63-day review period. And all these rules are part of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act. I cannot tell you why the number is 63 days, other than that's just what's in the law. But once Council approves distribution, then it's out for public review for 63 days. Once that period is over, then a final draft will come back before you, and there'll be a public hearing. At that point, you would make a recommendation to Council, and then Council would do the final adoption. That's the long version of the process. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Any commissioner questions for this? So the comprehensive plan, similar to form from other years, it goes through a number of different areas of the community. So if you have a chance to take a look at it, it talks about the background of Albion, talks about housing and physical characteristics and a lot of things that you're probably aware of living here, but there's data and discussion which brings that out. So that's one of the things that's positive things about the community plan, the comprehensive plan. Also looking forward as to what we want the community to be like, how we want land use, or how land use could look in the years to come. So that's one of the other main elements of it. Liz, do you have any other comments about the plan as a whole and what it's meant to do?
Sure. Your comprehensive plan is supposed to be a guide for the next 5 to 20 years for where you want the city to go. You're usually, well, by state law, you need to revisit it every 5 years. So this is technically a rewrite, or not a rewrite, but just an update. But in terms of changes from the last plan, we have taken a slightly different approach here, in that making it as graphic and user-friendly and readable as possible. So you'll see a lot of graphics and not quite as much text. A lot of times these plans can be pretty lengthy and people don't read them. So we tried to make that a little different this time around. So like all the existing conditions are pretty short, graphic, brief chapters just stating what is in Albion currently. And then the big part is that last chapter, the implementation, that has a summary of all those existing conditions, but then actionable items for how to get to where you want the city to be.
Thank you. Yeah, Ian.
I just had one quick question that I thought of that Liz might be able to answer. But so the 63-day review happens, and let's say for whatever feedback we receive, we feel the need to make significant changes. Do we have to do another? Do we have to recommend another draft to council, or do we make those changes and then go to the final planning commission recommendation to council without doing another 63-day review?
I don't believe it would be required to do another 63-day review unless you chose to.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, any commissioner comments? Thoughts, questions? All right.
Is this slated to go before council at the next meeting?
We can take it so we can get that 63-day period going. Yes, we can have it ready to go for our first May meeting.
Is this an actionable item or simply a sort of review?
The motion needs to read, I move to request the city council.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
All right. I thought that on the acknowledgements page, we might identify the members of the steering committee that actually are on the planning commission, since all of us were on the planning commission. It might be something you might want to do.
Sure, we can certainly note that.
I mean, there are identifications for others, so I just, since the other three were recruited from this body, that would make sense, I think. Any other thoughts?
I'd just like to say thank you to Liz and her team with Beckett and Rader for assisting us with this process. It was a smooth process, very informative, and I'm excited to have an updated plan for our community.
Sure, it's our pleasure.
Yes, Liz, it was great. Having gone through many years ago this process without any help at all from some outside person, this was much, much smoother, and it was very easy to work with you, and thank you. And thank you to
Good, I'm
Mr.
so glad to hear that.
All right. So do I have a motion to request the city council to approve this document for distribution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got it. It's moved and supported to request the city council to approve this for distribution. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Great. Next item, excuse absent board member, and we heard from,
Sharon called this afternoon, she was not feeling well.
do I have a motion to excuse Sharon?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported to excuse Sharon. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public? No? Not tonight. All right. Any commissioner comments? Yeah, we're not going to make the record. We make. Let's go. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Hold on, George. Hold it down. I have questions.